to moms who think working moms are not good enough. Look at me. Hello and welcome to KSP TV. Today we're sharing with you a special episode on our series, How She Does It. We're talking to a woman who's extremely enterprising and has achieved it all in spite of motherhood. A woman who seems to juggle through all of it. Work, life, career, kids, ambition, not leaving herself behind, pursuing her dream, ambition, her hobbies, and of course her unwinding time. A woman who really makes us wonder, how does she do it? We're going to be sharing with you her tips, tricks, challenges, cheers, fears, and everything in her journey of how she does it. Our guest today is Sonal Holland, the only master of wines India has yet seen, a really dear friend, a mum, and of course, a really, really witty woman. Welcome, Sonal.
Thank you, Mansi. It's such a pleasure to be finally on Kidsstoppress. I'm very excited.
Yes, and I'm really excited to know, what is this Master of Wines title?
So the Master of Wine is a qualification and a title which is awarded by the Institute of Masters of Wine in London, UK. And it is widely regarded as the most respected title in the world of wines. And what is very interesting is that there are currently only 369 Masters of Wine in the world across 29 countries.
Right. Does Rihanna's her daughter, does she see all of this as like, wow, my mom is the only Master of Wine that India has yet seen?
So, funny enough, Mansi, when Rihanna was little, when she was very little, she obviously had no idea what this meant, and she was completely unfamiliar with wine as a beverage. And as she started to grow up a little bit, and around the time when she was about 5 or 6 years old, I know that there was a phase where she was actually embarrassed about this fact. So every time I used to say to her, have you told your teacher Mama is a wine professional, is a wine expert, and she used to just stick out her tongue in a funny way, and almost like I could see she was embarrassed, and that this was, she felt this was something she couldn't tell very many people. And I didn't try to fight that. I just said, okay, let's go with the flow. Today I think she's really proud. Now she's extremely at comfort with this thought. She's telling people this all the time. Every time there's a little write-up about me in the newspaper or anywhere in the media, she will proudly take that article to school to show it to her teachers and flaunt that.
So Sonal, were there any insecurities at any point in time while you were pursuing your title that I will lose Rihanna at some point?
So is mom guilt real? It totally is. It never goes away, really. All the time. Through the growing years, I used to always worry about whether, especially when I was doing my Master of Wine studies and I was right in the throes of it, traveling all around the world, going absolutely nuts. I was to always worry whether Rihanna will grow up to be bitter, more distanced, not value me and my motherhood. But you know what really helps, Mansi, is that every time I sort of try to discuss this with my husband, who's not, I would say, is much more than just a supporter of my career. He's not a supporter, he's a committed, creator, but he's so committed and he's so invested in terms of himself into it, into me and my life and everything I'm doing, which is so lovely. But every time I used to discuss this with him, he used to say, you know what, stop making excuses. She's fine, she's lovely, she's touch wood healthy, she's turning out to be a lovely, lovely child. And stop making excuses, just get on with it.
I mean, everything is great, right? So we've seen the Sonal that's so glamorous at vineyards and tasting multiple wines and being, in press clips and all of that. What is Sonal at home?
Yeah.
And behind the scenes, that's what we want to know.
Crazy woman.
Yeah. No.
Crazy woman going all around the place. The days can be pretty hectic. I mean, work's really, really busy at the moment. There's a lot going on. And I'm trying to sort of make the most of every opportunity that exists. It's an exciting life, very little to complain about. But a typical day is, you get up, I try and get up at 6:30 in the morning. On days when I'm being really good about myself, I can actually end up going for a walk. I start work at 9 o'clock. So by 9 o'clock, I'm right in front of my computer. But mornings are with my daughter first, for the first hour or so. I'm with my daughter before she takes off and gets on that bus to school. And then I'm like,
you like do a happy dance.
Yeah, I do a little dance. And then I go for my walk, then I come back, and then I'm at my work desk, and then it's pretty much a day of either a whole lot of meetings or doing things or, making videos myself or whatever it is, or traveling, take a flight off to somewhere else. Evenings I try and wind down, but you will know this, Mansi.
Yeah.
It's difficult to switch off, right?
Yeah, especially
It's
when you have
just-
your own enterprise.
Especially when you have a setup where you're your own entrepreneur, you're working for yourself. And for me, it's like I have a great office setup, but it's from home.
Yeah.
So for me, it's very difficult to compartmentalize work and home. Give attention to what's important to us. And whilst my career is important, there's no doubt about that. I'm also a very house-proud lady. And I generally like to have all departments in my life, parenting, house and how that works, career, everything, even me as a daughter for that matter. I like to sort of lead a life of abundance, and I like to make time for everything. And I also try not micromanage. I'll be very honest, Mansi, because I could get into, what is the cost of potatoes and why we paying 40 rupees versus 30 rupees. I try not get into that because I learned a long time ago that you have to choose your battles. You can't micromanage everything. And nobody ever became rich and successful out of saving money. You become rich and successful out of concentrating on how to make money. So if you just concentrate on the top line rather than, that bit, and just sort of let go some of those things, then I think you sort of learn to decide what is really important, what matters, and what really needs your attention.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah. In the attempt to juggle it all, prioritize, compartmentalize, have you ever thought, shit, I just want to, why am I doing it? Is it all worth it?
So no, I mean, do I feel like just saying, I'm going to kick in my boots and just run off to the hills? The only kind of hills I want to run off to is the vineyards. And honestly, every time that gets to me, like living in the city gets to me, okay, after a point. So I sort of look forward to my travels. Right. Because, I'm not ashamed to say this. Again, and I'm no longer guilty as a mother to say this. I love my travels.
You used to earlier, so before you started Soho Wine Club, you obviously used to travel, and you like you said, the monotony of everyday work, commute 1 hour, and you just traveling back and forth to work, getting stuck in traffic and all of that. How has all of that changed, and how do you think you've managed your time really efficiently?
So before I was a wine professional, I used to have a great corporate career. Before I sort of reinvented myself into this wine professional and now a master of wine and so on. And so I've done my bit, in terms of traveling to work and having an absolute routine in terms of the typical work job, having that sheer routine and monotony to your life. And I felt a strong urge to reinvent myself, and that could not have been a better decision to have made. Because what I really did by sort of reinventing myself in this role is I took total control of my life. And I really learned to, at that moment or that phase of my life, give importance to what was important. So where becoming a parent was important, I put that ahead of other things. The world was not able to see any of this because there was also a little bit of work happening on the side. So there's a moment, the world doesn't really, as long as you're doing justice to all sort of parts. Now I feel it's more career because, I'm at this juncture in my career. It's wonderful, as a master of wine, it opens doors, and you're exposed to a world of opportunities. But also just saving the time and the hassle of having to go to work.
I'm sure a lot of people are stuck in a 9 to 5. Would just the proximity to work or the ability to walk to work would be so fantastic.
Yes.
Because you're not. There's just so much. I feel like you can. Like I have an office setup that's like literally 5 minutes away, and I feel I've saved on those 2 hours.
And it makes such a difference in a city like Mumbai, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the thought of if someone were to come and offer me a job today, honestly, if I was sitting in an interview, the first thing I'd be sitting there and thinking is, just how long am I going to have to travel to work, and can I actually do this anymore? Because I'm so out of that zone now.
If you've ever been to Sonal's house, you know that everything is just proper. How does the proper stay proper when you're traveling 3 weeks in a month?
I wish there was an easy answer to that.
No, I have to know that. That's how she does it.
I don't know.
I
think I'm just a control freak. I just whip people when things don't get done. I don't know what it is, but yeah, I'm very finicky like that. I mean, I'm a big stickler for things all being in their place and things to be working, and I can get quite pushy, quite dominating, and I get things done. I'm very house proud. So, for example, I could just, if something is not right, I would attend to it. It would disturb me to such an extent that I would even take time off work and just say, I'm going to fix this first. because I find it very disturbing when something's not in order at home.
Right.
It really, really bothers me. So I then just get down to fixing it.
Okay.
Whatever it is, even if it's needing a plumber, I don't know.
So you do that.
But I attend to it.
Tell me, how is Sonal, the master of wines, different from Sonal, the mum?
Oh, quite different, I think. So, as a master of wine, as a wine professional, I think, I don't know, but this is what I've been told by people in the industry, that I can be perceived to be quite reserved. I think. I don't know. I think.
All wrong, guys. All wrong.
But maybe not reserved, but a bit more. I think I'm more authoritative. I come across as, I'm in command and I'm in control of the situation and I know my stuff.
That you do.
Don't mess with me unless you know what you're talking about. I think I sort of emanate that sort of air about myself. But as a mom, oh gosh, I'm a complete softie.
She's a
my
chiller.
daughter has me wrapped around her little finger, and I'm extremely emotional as a mom.
Okay, so I once read Randy Zuckerberg saying this, that out of these 5 things you can prioritize only any 3.
Okay.
And that's out of work, family, friends, sleep, and health. What would you prioritize? What 3 would you prioritize?
Family. Actually, it's work. I'm lying. Sorry. It's work, family, and health.
Now you need to answer all of these questions in a word for me. I know that's going to be hard for you, but you got to do
A
it.
sentence?
No, a word. Okay. Your response: women can't have it all.
Not true. You can have the cake and eat it too.
If you had more time, you would.
Watch a Shah Rukh Khan movie.
Okay. I wish people would not.
Pretend to be teetotalers.
Then, to moms who think working moms are not good enough.
Look at me.
Okay. What gives you sleepless nights?
Piled up work.
Activities in school that involve parents.
Don't. Please don't.
Your mom inspiration.
My mom.
The one thing you would wish you could do better.
Anything to do with technology?
If a genie gave a mom one wish to make her life easier, what would it be for you?
I don't need a genie. I need a secretary right now. I'll ask the genie to give me a secretary.
Okay. What is the one thing you don't miss about your former workplace?
The travel and the politics.
Your reaction when your daughter says that, but mom, her mom always comes and you never.
Okay, I'll come. Okay. I told you I give in.
Okay, now we're playing a fun game again, which is on a scale of 1 to 10. How would you rate the following to enable more women to work? Okay, and 10 being the highest. Okay. Have a right boss.
9.
Okay. Use of technology.
In today's times, 9.
Okay. Discipline.
10. 11.
Okay. Proximity to work.
It helps. 8.
Okay. Work, home, family, career. What in your life are you satisfied enough to give a 10 on 10 to?
None. Because if I was a 10 on 10 on any of those, I'd be way too complacent and only the paranoid survive. So no, I'm an average on everything.
Oh, awesome. Thank you so much. You have fared really well in the KSP little rapid fire, and I will give you the KSP hamper, not a coffee hamper. She doesn't clearly need a coffee hamper.
I thought you were going to give me a wine hamper.
That you're going to give me. So congratulations for winning this.
Thank you, Mansi. This has been so much fun. So much fun. Really awesome.
And before we end, I need to ask you, for everybody who's young, restless, watching, what is the secret sauce to all the success that you've achieved?
There's a lot of success to be achieved. There's a lot of work to be done still. But in terms of message, what I'd like to say is, it's good to be young and restless, because I think the ones who are not restless are more in trouble. But we often wait for the right set of circumstances. We always say, I'll get to a certain age and I'll start, or I'll wait for my children to get to a certain age and I'll start, or I'll move to this city and I'll do this, or I would have done this if I didn't have this in my life. And so I think these are all excuses. I used to fall into this trap myself in the early days, and I would urge everyone out there to just start doing, and start small if need be, but just start somewhere. Dive at the deep end of the ocean, because you will learn to swim, and it's really probably the only way to learn how to swim. And it's just about taking challenges head on, and then just finding a way as you go along. Don't just wait for the perfect opportunity, because there is no such thing. It's an illusion. It's more important to be in motion and be moving towards something, even if it's the wrong direction. But to be in motion, I think, is more important to just be static and not be doing anything at all, or just waiting for the apple to fall, which it inevitably never will. So
awesome. Thank you so much, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Mansi. I've had a blast, and thank you for having me on Kidsstoppress.